Yippee-Ki-Yay, mother...
Welcome to the party, pal!
Welcome to Yippee-Ki-Yay, Mother Podcast. I'm Ralph Quartucci.
I'm Sean Paul Murphy.
I'm Michelle Wojo Wojakowski, and this is my husband.
Brad.
And I'm John Quattrucci.
John Quartucci is my younger brother, which we all know. He pronounces his name differently than I do because that's just
Different
the way we do
fathers.
it.
Isn't this riveting so far?
Same father, different pronunciation. It's a strange thing. What was I going to ask?
You were going to ask if you want to subscribe or get a notification?
John, why don't you take over for me? Go ahead.
Yeah. If you like what you hear, if you've liked it in the past, please subscribe and hit the notification button, and you'll find out when we drop our next podcast. It helps us going forward, so we really appreciate you paying attention. Thanks.
Yeah, and if we actually get a comment and you comment on a movie or you decide there's a movie you want us to do, maybe you're on the show.
And follow us on Twitter and Facebook.
Okay, now we just lost all our viewers. Let's get in. Viewers, some from Massachusetts. All right, so Wojo brought today.
Excited people listen to us on YouTube for 8 minutes.
8.5, 9 minutes. So we got to get it all.
So let's get the best stuff out in 9 minutes.
Let's hurry. So Wojo brought today's movie, and let me describe the movie. Not the movie. I'm just going to throw out a couple of words, and then I'll let Wojo take over. Produced in 1994. Takes place in 1958. Mimics 1938 movies. Take it away, Wojo.
It's the Hudsucker Proxy, done by Coen Brothers. I love the Coen Brothers, but this is my favorite. It's not as well known as Raising Arizona and Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? But we just love it. And when we watched it all over again, every time
Keep talking. This is live TV.
Oh my God, I lost the podcast.
Live television.
And it was just, it just is so funny. It tells the story, played great by Tim Robbins, who looks like he's like 20 in it, but he's 36, but he had that very boyish, innocent look to him. And,
well, what's the story?
Well, the story is about, oh God, am I going to sneeze? No, I'm not. I'm sorry.
This is a COVID-free podcast.
Don't forget 9 minutes, Wojo.
Okay. Story is about Norval Barnes, and he has recently graduated from business school, and he heads to New York to make his way. And he gets a job in the mailroom at Hudsucker Industries. And when the head of Hudsucker Industries, wearing Hudsucker, decides to kill himself, which is actually funny, if you can believe it, and jumps out the 45th floor, or 44th, counting the mezzanine.
45 if you count the mezzanine.
Right. To end it all, Paul Newman, who is fabulous.
Always is.
He, in fact, and this is, I'll finish telling you about the movie and I'll tell you this fun fact. But he decides, because their stock is out the roof, but now that Wearing Hudsucker is dead, they want to lower the stock as much as they can, because according to his will, is going to go out and can be bought up by the public within a month, which is kind of crazy that the whole movie takes place supposedly in a month's time. But so they want to hire a schmo, a schmuck, a jerk, who will freak out all the investors.
And Ralph was unavailable?
I was not available in 1958 or 38 or 94 or whatever.
Anyway, so they, so Norval has to take a blue letter up, which is a big deal in Hudsucker Proxy, and has to take it up to Paul Newman's character, Sid. Well, chaos ensues, and he decides that Norval is going to be his proxy. He's going to be the Hudsucker Proxy, who is going to make everything tank so that the board members can buy up all the stock for nothing and then make the company, thrive again, which is crazy when you think about it, but it otherwise there would be no movie. So one of the cool things I found out, because I know we're supposed to do research and such when we bring in a movie, was that Paul Newman, the Coen brothers wanted him for the role, period. And he said no. In 1984, he said no. And so they considered Clint Eastwood, they considered Jack Nicholson, but they really didn't want to make the movie without Paul Newman. So they waited 10 years until they went back to him enough and wore him down. And he said yes. And while I could have seen Clint Eastwood or Jack Nicholson in that role, I think Paul Newman just walks away with it.
But why did he say no? Do you remember why he said no?
Yeah, because he hadn't done comedy.
Well, other than one of the greatest.
Well, except remember,
many films of all time, Slapshot.
but he didn't treat that like a comedy.
I know,
That's the
but it
difference,
was
right.
was.
I understand, but that's why he didn't think he could do comedy. And
We didn't laugh.
He didn't.
during this one or Slapshot. I forget.
Slapshot.
Maybe
We're
he
gonna
thought he
lose our
couldn't
like
do
3 viewers.
broad
So
comedy.
Right.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
probably what it was.
yeah. So he didn't want to do it, and then
You're skipping over one big plot point. What's the big plot? One big plot point. What's he holding in the poster?
For kids.
oh,
For kids. Wait, I got it in my sneaker. Wait a minute.
But what's he holding?
he keeps walking around.
For kids.
Yeah, the entire movie, and they make it. Tim Robbins' character walks around.
Yeah.
What's gonna make me? You
Right.
see this? This is gonna make me. And it just looks like a circle to everyone. And he goes, for kids. And everyone thinks he has
No.
completely
But wait, somebody. Oh,
wait.
Right.
He turns the
Which is
paper
why they
around.
thought he was an idiot.
They thought exactly. He
Well, it
thought,
took him a couple of years to come up with the
imbeciles,
design.
what they kept
Right.
calling them.
Took a while.
yeah, it took him a while, which is hilarious. And so, and I love Jennifer Jason Leigh.
Mm-hmm.
Other people were considered for this character that I couldn't have seen. Bridget Fonda,
Mm-hmm.
and who else?
Ellen Barkin.
Jennifer Jason Leigh
Right.
didn't get the role.
Ellen Barkin, I could have seen pulling it off.
Ellen Barkin could have pulled it
But
off.
the other ones you said, like Jane Fonda, or no, Bridget Fonda, I could not.
And I love Bridget. I loved when Bridget Fonda was in movies, but I just, Jennifer Jason Leigh has that voice.
Well, we'll talk about that.
Pulitzer on it,
Right.
It's funny. So,
So, I mean, okay. Any more before we jump in?
yes, we want to do our
I
favorite.
can't wait to jump in, I guess.
One of the things we like about this movie is the Coen brothers have, what did you say?
I said we just can't wait to jump in. We're very excited. That's all.
You're a liar. You're
No, I mean it. I'm very excited to jump in.
You pronounce your last name incorrectly.
Thank you.
maybe.
Thank
How do
you.
Okay. I'll ask you a question later, off air.
But they have really quick banter, and if you don't pay attention to it, you miss some of the jokes.
Wait a second.
Like overlapping dialogue.
Except it doesn't suck like that movie we watched last week.
Well, you haven't gotten to us yet.
I think she's right about that one.
But it's not overlapping. Like Jim Trufrost, who plays, I don't even know if the
Buzz.
elevator operator, Buzz, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he was so good in The Wire, if you saw him in that. He is hilarious in this. And we think they deliberately named the guy who headed the company Wearing Hudsucker because they came up with a lot of these jokes.
Sidewalk. Best
So-
dressed sidewalk is wearing Hudsucker.
Hiya, buddy. My name's Buzz. I got the fuzz and make the elevator do what she does. Hey, buddy, what takes 50 years to get up to the top floor and 30 seconds to get down?
Wearing Hudsucker.
You get it? Hey, buddy.
That's that 1939 vibe right there.
Wearing Hudsucker.
Mr. Stebbins to
Because it's
number
hilarious.
37. It's 36. Take the stairs down.
And then when he invents, he brings up his thing to
Yeah.
Norval and says, "I invented this." And for a second, you think, "What the hell?" And then it's the
The
skrinky
flexi straw.
Oh, yeah.
flex.
Which was a great invention.
I know, but it's just hilarious. I just love this movie. I think the banter's funny. I didn't realize all these times we watched it that the guy who plays Smitty, the reporter, is
Bruce Campbell.
Bruce Campbell. Well,
Yeah,
it was,
exactly.
because this was co-written by Ethan and Joel and Sam Raimi.
Sam Raimi.
Right.
Writing. He's also he's in the movie.
Only in silhouette.
As a
Oh, and
silhouette.
he's the one who comes up with the name hula hoop.
Yeah, I know. So we've all read IMDb before tonight. So.
No, I watched the movie. That's how I figured that out.
Well,
You
also,
can see Sam Raimi very
yeah.
clearly. I mean,
I also read.
I just used IMDb to confirm my theory.
You read what?
I also read Roger Ebert. Shall we get to the Ebert corner?
Well, is Wojo done? or is there more?
Are you familiar with Ebert's review?
No, but he probably hated it.
Oh, hate's
I
a
wouldn't
strong
say
word,
hate.
Wojo.
But 2 out of 4.
Whoa.
Oh,
Two little
too bad.
creatures are perched on my shoulders, one whispering into each ear. One carries a pitchfork, the other has gossamer wings. They are dictating this review of the Hudsucker Proxy. Angel, this is the best looking movie I've seen in years. A feast for the eyes and the imagination. The art direction and set design are breathtaking, recreating the world of 1930s screwball comedies in which towering skyscrapers and vast boardrooms are playing fields for the ambition of corrupt executives, ambitious kids, unsung heroes, lady newspaper reporters with nails as sharp as their wisecracks. The devil. But the problem with the movie is that it's all surface and no substance. Not even the slightest attempt is made to suggest that the film takes its own story seriously. Everything is style. The performance seemed deliberately angled as satire.
duh.
Yeah, so
Of course it was.
Ebert goes on back and forth like that, saying good things and then bad things. You know. So and the review's 2 out of 4, which is middle ground.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny.
No, that's 2's a bad. I think for him, mediocre is 2. Average is 2.5.
That's okay. And we get it. We've said for years
I think this is
that you either love this movie or you hate this movie. I mean, and I know you think hate's a strong word, but love's also a strong word, and we love this movie. So, but years ago, probably 20 years ago, we lent it. We lent it to our neighbors, and they brought it back that night, and they said, we had this piece of crap on for 20 minutes, and it's the stupidest movie we've ever seen.
Well, they made it through the first 20, though? Oh,
But shut up. But they also were big horror fans and big things.
Well, I mean, this is...
A lot of different things. But we just think it's hilarious.
It's funny. Sean, would you like to say anything about the film before we... I mean, we've been doing open discussion, basically.
I
but-
probably liked it better when I first saw it, but I still like it. To me, it's just one thing that was bothering me this time is that it's set in 1958. It has to for the hula hoop, but it's really 1930s. It's really 1930s,
Right.
early 40s.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it bugs me.
Well, it takes you out of the movie because you're looking at things going, okay, this is supposed to be I thought Depression era. That's what I thought, right? Which is even earlier than 1938. Because the guy's jumping out the tower, all that stuff. Plus, you're looking at footage that is 1938. And yet I know because they start with the whole New Year's Eve, 1958 going to 1959. So right away you're on, you're trying to get a handle on what's happening. Anyway, go ahead.
See, I'm just younger than all you guys, so it didn't bother me at all.
See, we weren't around enough.
You don't remember the 1940s like we did.
Well, yeah, I wasn't actually. I'm a Gen Xer. You know that, so I wasn't around. I wasn't even around in '58.
I'm a millennial.
Right? So I wasn't around in '58. So I'm just saying from a storytelling point of view, it was just confusing. That's all. Anyway, go ahead, Sean.
You felt it was a story?
Well, we'll get to that.
Okay.
Well, if I can go just a little more, there's a lot I liked. I really liked Buzz. I think the best scene is when he's being introduced in the mail room, with his instructions. It will not be repeated. You cannot be paid without the whole list of everything he has to do, and which was fabulous. In fact, I think we used to show that at company meetings. So
That's Richard Schaefer, the guy, the mailroom guy. Is that his name? The guy was in West Wing. The guy that gets torn in
Richard
Jurassic
Schaefer.
Park. Jurassic Park 2. He's the one that gets ripped in half.
Oh,
The guy who played Toby on West Wing.
Yeah, that guy.
That
Yeah.
was,
What's his
that
name?
was him?
Richard
Yeah.
Schiff.
Richard Schiff.
Schiff. I'm sorry, Schiff.
That was the mailroom head?
Yeah, the guy screaming at him.
Didn't you say it was somebody else? Because there was a couple people listed as Screamer.
Yeah, and the one who was yelling right next to him was not Richard Schiff. It was,
Oh, okay. I thought that was him.
No, yeah.
but I love that's another scene that is just really funny because he's walking and and Tim Robbins is like, I don't know what's going on, and he's saying, and if they do that, they duck ya, and if you don't do this, they duck ya. And then when they take 30 seconds for a moment of silence for wearing Hudsucker, they said, and note that will be taken off of your paycheck.
yeah. Well, you see, my problem is that maybe I'm judging it too harshly, but it really drops the narrative thread now and then. It goes into like long montages, and it's like it's hard to take this relationship seriously between Jennifer Jason Leigh and Tim Robbins because they don't care about. There's long portions of the movie where they don't care about it. It's like suddenly he's dating other girls, but they don't play that in with how she's reacting to it until the very end. It's sort of like she's absent during that whole period of his quote unquote success. She just comes to ground him later, which to me makes her less of a real character and more of a plot device.
That's because she resigned immediately.
Yeah.
Aren't they all like plot driven? I mean, they're all out there. Who's the grounded character in the movie?
Well, you could say the same thing about Raising Arizona too.
Well,
Those people were all there.
That's why. Okay, I'm glad you brought that movie up. But okay,
it's
the same.
They are entitled, but it's like I don't care about the couple.
Right.
But there are always weird things in Coen Brothers movies. For example, in this one, when wearing Hudsucker prevents Norval from dying, while first Moses sticks the broom in the clock and prevents him. And then when the in fact, when we're watching it over the weekend, I was thinking when he comes down as an angel, I'm thinking, oh my God, this is so hokey, but I didn't care, because
With the hula hoop halo.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. The hula hoop halo.
Yeah,
Very
it was. That's
popular
what it was. It
gimmick
kept
up there.
vibrating.
The latest thing up here.
But see, none of that bothered me that it was, the plot did jump all over the place. It's just that it was so over the top. But the way they do it, just, I don't know, it just tickled us, the way they do it. And the gross exaggeration of everything and just the way the camera angles and stuff is just really kind of
That's all production design there. We'll get into that too.
Goldberg liked the production design.
Yeah, I mean, how could you not? But okay, John, how about yourself?
Well, let me start with this.
You got 20 seconds.
I find it deliciously ironic that the film that Wojo chose is a tribute to Howard Hawks, Frank Capra, and all the directors of the 30s with overlapping dialogue.
Strong women.
Jennifer Jason Leigh basically playing Rosalind Russell and his girl Friday. So I think that's so ironic. But I will tell you, I'm of two minds of this movie. This is only the second time I've seen it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a beautiful film. The way it's filmed,
Roger
the
Deakins.
interiors, the exteriors, it is absolutely a gorgeous film to watch. I really like Jennifer Jason Leigh in this because they were trying to achieve those screwball comedies of the 30s.
She did achieve.
She absolutely nailed it.
Yeah.
But I just thought it was boring. I just found it boring. I know. And you know what? This is how I judge if it's boring. There were parts of it where I just kind of phased out and then came back to it. And the other thing, and I say
phased out mean what? You dropped lid or you?
Well, I didn't drop lid, but I definitely it felt like just for a second I missed something, and I'm going, what just happened? And I think that's what maybe I did. I don't know. And I don't do that in movies. And the other thing,
coma. I don't know.
The other thing I judge, and I say this every time we do this, I judge a movie on if it comes on, will I watch it?
That seems to be. You say that.
I would not watch this again. There are scenes in it that I really like, and if I caught a certain scene, then I think I would sit through the scene. But I couldn't watch this movie start to finish again. And I'm not going to say I didn't hate it because because there were
No, I understand that.
there were things in it that I really liked. I mean, like, even the camera work and all that. It's a Coen Brothers movie, so of course it's going to be visually great. But Paul Newman can read the phone book, and I'm going to like that. You know, so that's kind of how I felt about it. And I really, because when I saw it a long time ago, I think I liked it more than I do now. And I really wanted to like it, but I was like, it was just going nowhere. And the ending was it the devil and God, the whole thing there. I didn't quite get that. What did that mean? So that's kind of how I felt about it.
You guys think too much sometimes.
Well, I didn't hate it. I just want you to know I did not hate it. But I was of two minds watching it because I'm going, wow, this is a really neat looking movie, but what the hell are they doing? And Ralph, the elevator operator, you know what he reminded me of the co-pilot in The Thing. You know how you kept doing, hey, Cap, we got to go.
I could have acted in this movie.
What are you doing, buddy? We got to go, buddy. I'm like, oh my God.
I was the elevator operator.
This was funny, and that wasn't.
Well, again, funny is relative.
It is.
It's the thing wasn't supposed to be funny. It just was.
No, I think
And this was supposed to be funny, and it partially was, not completely, in my opinion. My
Are we
turn?
jumping over to Ralph now?
No, my turn.
I said
No.
my piece.
No, I'm not gonna hate on it. I didn't love it. I kind of fell asleep through a lot of it. And that might have been
Ralph,
Were you driving while you
if I'm
watched
not
it?
mistaken, we talked before we got on the broadcast.
right.
Didn't you rewatch it today
Yes.
because you missed a big chunk of it from
Yeah, there's a
sleeping?
chunk I missed when he was.
I just want to make sure that gets out there.
I've watched the home because
The reason you guys are falling asleep is because you're old.
that may be.
That could be true.
It could be a lot of alcohol too. I don't know. But I'm a Coen Brothers fan. I'm not a super fan. So I like all the Coen Brothers that are grounded in some sort of reality, except for Raising Arizona, which is just stands on
You
its own.
don't like Raising Arizona?
No. I love Raising Arizona.
Oh, okay.
But that's not grounded in any kind of reality. That's
No.
farcical like this one is, right? Miller's Crossing, Blood Simple, Fargo. I never saw Hudsucker Proxy. I never saw Irreconcilable Differences. There's a bunch of Coen Brother movies I have not seen.
Did you see Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?
Did not see that.
That was good.
Again, I'm not a big. That has to do with the music thing. I'm not a big music fan. I didn't even see.
Carter Burwell
It took me a long time to see.
A musical.
I don't like songs and
It
things.
wasn't really a musical.
I loved. I
things
think
with notes.
they did True Grit, right, with Jeff Bridges. I think
That was good. That was
the Coen
better than
Brothers.
the original.
I didn't see
On
Old
Netflix.
Old Country for New Men. What is that?
Oh,
What's that?
That was
What's the name of that movie?
Country for New Men.
Oh,
It took me a while to
that
see
was
that
their
one.
best. In my opinion, that's their best movie.
I don't
They're good.
remember.
I don't think it's their best,
You
but
think
it's
that's their best
listen,
movie?
I love
I think
Miller's
I-
Crossing.
I-
Country for Old
That
Men.
one off, didn't we? And
We turned No Country for Old Men off only because it was getting so violent.
Yeah, that's
And
partly.
I watch violent things, but there are certain things I just get to and it could have been the time frame we're watching it. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Because that's happened to us before. I'll
Well,
watch.
that's a tough movie to watch, but it's well done. And it took me a long time to see The Big Lebowski. I didn't dive into that right away, and love that movie too. So I had never seen this one. It's funny coming off The Thing to see them try to do what The Thing did naturally. Okay, and to me, Roger Ebert hit the nail on the head. It's all style over substance, right? The set design, like the production manager of this movie, I think won an Oscar for some other Coen Brother movie he did. I forget which one. It's all visually stunning. You're watching this movie, the scenes where he's being chased down the alleys and they're shooting the back alley stuff, all the stuff they're doing with skyline, gorgeous. But again, like Roger Ebert said on the TV show, you're looking at all that and there's nothing else happening in the movie that's keeping it rolling. Like you said, the story's kind of minimal, what's going on.
Yeah.
And they get into the hula hoop thing, which is a funny, and he ends up with the Frisbee and all that. I thought that was, every time he showed the plans, he sees a circle this way, then vertically, and horizontally. It's just a line.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, some great ideas. And you
Aerial
can tell
view.
that
Hilarious.
these guys,
Did
but
you
I
see
didn't
the
know.
disclaimer?
Here's my question. Writers. You two writers. I don't know, Brad. I don't know if you write. John, I
I'm not a writer.
know Sean and
Writing,
Wojo for sure.
It's about it.
What are they trying to, was there any message here about business, stocks, relation? What's the message that I should take out of this movie? What did I learn?
To your youthful ambition.
That's the film.
I guess so.
Doesn't he become? No, who becomes president at the end? Is it him?
Yes.
Yes.
He's
Eisenhower.
Norval's president because
The president of the company.
Yeah.
He looks
Yeah,
at the
Norval.
blue letter in his
Okay. And then
apron.
And he got all the stocks. He got all the
Yeah.
stocks.
Right.
Yeah.
85%.
so it's capitalism. Woo! That's what this movie's
Well,
about.
no, it's about failing and coming back and
Okay.
being
Falling and coming back. No.
Yeah, right,
no
exactly.
failing,
Literally,
but falling.
literally falling. Yeah.
I also
I tell
like
you, that was the thing that made me laugh the most was when he was reading the note from Waring to Sid, and he kept saying falling instead of
Yeah.
failing.
except he said failing instead of
He says
And he kept
failing.
correcting him.
No, falling.
my favorite. I mean, I loved Jennifer.
I love the
Jason Leigh.
elevator guy.
I thought she's a good actress in whatever she does. She was Jennifer Jason Leigh.
And she
Right.
had that
You didn't see
1930s.
Parker in the Vicious Circle.
You
I
what?
hated- You didn't see Mrs. Parker in the Vicious Circle.
No, I did not.
Oh, I hated her in that. That was her next movie.
No, really?
I so wanted to see that film because I love Dorothy Parker and I love the Algonquin Round Table, just things I've read about it, and it was so underplayed. It was such a huge.
Well,
disappointment.
she's a hit or miss all the time. She's she's done a lot of great stuff, and I thought she was wonderful in this movie. I liked the little.
No,
shit.
she was great.
And
Well,
of course, like you mentioned, Bruce Campbell's in there. So you had the Sam Raimi
Smitty.
regulars in there.
Ready.
Smitty, you had she smacks him. She smacks Smitty when he calls her a guy.
John Mahoney,
John
as
Mahoney.
the chief.
Yeah.
John Mahoney. You've got John Goodman was in there.
Who was John?
Where
Goodman?
was
John
John
Goodman was the narrator of the newsreel footage.
Oh, the newsreel. That's
Oh, I did not get that.
You did that beforehand.
Yeah.
yeah, it did.
Steve, and he does a great job. Steve Buscemi's in there in the speakeasy.
Right. He's
Yeah.
In the Beatnik bar.
The Beatnik Bar.
Bar.
Speakeasy,
Juice
whatever.
bar.
Beatnik Bar.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that
martini.
Yeah.
that kept it interesting. And Tim Robbins, the only out loud laugh I did was when he says, "I want to take you to the King and I," and she smacks him across the face, and he said, "What was it? Oklahoma."
Oklahoma.
That's the only
I laughed out loud. I turned to Debbie too. I said,
that's the only time I laughed in the movie. And they're all, they're all doing a good job. I
Did you
understand.
even laugh about the buzz thing? Hey, buddy.
No, to me, that's like the guy in the thing. Same thing. It's that
Oh,
fake, like, and I knew but again, he's in a 1938 movie. That's what he's doing, that
Yeah.
whole shtick.
Yeah.
So, and even the paper boys and all the people outside selling newspapers.
Yeah.
So I think they were trying to do a lot of stuff. They were trying to be nostalgic about a time in film. I know they chose 1958 because of the hula hoop, right? So that had to be the start. And because Sam Raimi came up with the name in the movie, that was probably a big thing for him. Now, I have one little weird cross reference to a Tarantino movie, okay?
Okay.
That Jennifer Jason Leigh was in. Hateful Eight.
Yeah.
Paul Newman kept calling the hula hoop a dingus.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then Samuel L. Jackson has this whole speech in that movie about his dingus.
Yeah.
And it's just a little cross-pollination between these two movies. And I don't know, I don't know why he kept doing that, but anyway. So I didn't hate the movie. I didn't like the movie. I slept a little bit through it. I watched it all again. Like I woke up in the middle of that. He's dancing with that woman in the white.
I have to admit that part was
Weird.
very odd.
And I
That's
thought it was,
weird.
when I was watching it last
That I
night,
couldn't figure out.
Typical
But did you notice who that girl was?
it wasn't Jennifer Jason Leigh, so
No,
that's
the
why I was
girl
confused.
that Buzz was with. Was that
No, that's
that woman who ended up killing
That was
That's
Anna
Nicole
Nicole
Smith.
Smith.
Anna Nicole Smith was playing Zaza. Zaza,
Yeah.
was that her
Yeah.
name?
Daja Gabor.
Oh, but no, that was
They were
something
calling her
completely
Zaza.
different.
Yeah.
So last night I had to rewatch it today because I was like, what was going on there? And it wasn't her. I have no idea where that came from.
Yeah,
Why
that
it was
just
there.
kind of
That was
odd.
weird. But you see that kind of stuff in Coen Brothers movies a lot.
I understand. I get
yeah.
again,
No,
like I
I
said, for me they're hit or miss with the
Uh-huh.
Coen brothers.
Did you
And-
like
Uh-huh.
Paul Newman in this, Ralph?
Yeah, but it wasn't like he wasn't that funny. I didn't find it that amusing.
liked
Oh my God. I thought he
I
was
thought he was funny.
hilarious.
What was he doing? That was
Don't talk to any of these
He's,
people.
he's
Wait a minute.
getting a massage in the boardroom.
Maybe you should.
the situations he was in were funny. I didn't find him particularly a riot. I mean, that whole boardroom is designed. You talk about characters' faces, Sean. You always talk about faces in movies.
Yeah.
That whole boardroom is all weird-looking people with eyebrows that are going up like
Oh,
that.
that-
One guy
Just the one guy.
that hits the plexiglass at the end.
Plexiglass.
Okay, that was funny.
You know when to stop.
I saw that coming a mile away, by the way. But
Yeah.
So what?
I'm just
See,
saying.
and this is a
Maybe
funny.
I'm too cynical a viewer. After the
Yeah.
thing and then this one, I'm a little, I need a little reality again. Let's go.
Well, you know what I think it is? I think sometimes we just like stuff for no particular reason. For example, I would defend this movie. I would tell people, this is such a great movie. And I mean it. I love it. Every time we watch it, we laugh hysterically. But, and in all seriousness, over a year ago when we did Slapshot, and I'm not bringing it up to poke the bear, okay? But Ralph and John, you both like Slapshot. And
No, love Slapshot.
Loved.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
you
yeah.
love it.
Wanted
I
to play it.
honestly, and I don't know if Ralph and Sean remember this, I literally did fall asleep during that movie. And I swear, and it's not a dig to you guys. It's not a dig to your
You can
just-
fall
it
asleep in any
grabbed
movie
me.
you want. It
I
doesn't
don't take
affect
it as a ding.
not one bit.
I do
I will
not.
say my wife was very tired. She wasn't sure whether she was going to watch this movie. And she watched once the narration began and all, she's like, oh, we got to watch this. Because she missed like the first bit of it and she's like, started over again. So, and she didn't complain that I got it for $2.99 on Amazon.
And she liked it.
We own
Yeah,
it.
she really liked it.
You own it? You have this?
We can watch it anytime we want.
Oh my God.
And we owned it previously on VHS.
Oh my
We own it
God.
on DVD.
Was it out on Laserdisc? I think Ralph would like it if it were
Ralph
on.
No, I chose to not buy this one.
So is
Yes,
there
this
any,
is on
do
Laserdisc.
they have any supplemental
Which
material on the
Laserdisc
DVD? Because I was, when I do these, I look up a lot of different resources, and there was like nothing on this movie.
Watch, come on and say why you like the film, just for a guess.
The only was on Internet Movie Database. That was it. Usually on YouTube, you can find documentaries and stuff.
Yeah, there's not much about it because it didn't. I think it bombed at the box office.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
think it did well.
I didn't do it.
Yeah.
Because we didn't, you know where
Well,
we saw it?
94 was a pretty big year, too. It had Forrest
94
Gump
was
and
huge.
I think Pulp Fiction came out that year.
Hello.
Yeah.
Park, all that.
Hi,
Hi,
Debbie.
Debbie's making a little guest appearance to say why she liked this movie.
I love this movie.
Oh, she didn't even like it. She
Oh, taste.
loved it.
You know what?
All right, you got 12 seconds. Go.
The opening shot, when you first see the snowstorm in New York City,
Yeah.
Pretty.
you feel like and it gradually opened, and you go closer into the city, into the specific building, the Hudsucker building. But it
The
was
HUD.
magical because I grew up in Ohio, and so many cold winter nights, you see that snow coming down just like that, and it takes you back into a place and time of Christmas.
Okay, but how'd you like the movie?
Loved it.
I mean, that shot you're talking about, you could actually see snow on the
loved her.
rooftops
She
of
was
those
like
buildings.
so much like Katharine Hepburn, her style,
Right.
the way she was. She must have studied her or something, and
Absolutely.
that voice she had was Katharine Hepburn, right?
All that overlapping dialogue. Oh,
Yeah.
I just loved it.
I have to say it was not so overlapping. It was right afterwards. The time
Yeah.
Bam, bam,
It was
It was
fast.
like boom, 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 boom.
it was boom boom, and I
Yeah.
No, bam, 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 bam.
Not nearly as natural as it.
No woman likes boom, boom, boom as much as Debbie. When it comes to dialogue.
Where's the coffee pot from last week?
Mm.
I got my soda.
Oh,
There you
So-
go.
Well, there might be a
here we
little
go again.
But you know where we found out about this movie, and this is what makes me okay. Here's where I'm going to wax nostalgic.
Yeah, I
This
don't know
is
this.
why
Where did we
I
find out
miss
about it?
Cranbrook Video.
Oh, okay.
When there used to be independent little video stores, not the big blockbuster. There was one called Cranbrook Video over on Walter Boulevard in a strip mall. And everyone who worked there was required to be a movie lover. And these people, everyone you talked with there, loved movies. They would talk as much about them. That's where we saw stuff like The Spanish Prisoner with Steve Martin. We saw Murder of Crows with Cuba Gooding Jr., which is good. We like it, not real well known. Arlington Road, which has Jeff Bridges and Tim Robbins, where Tim Robbins plays a really bad guy,
Well, yeah.
and they suggested this. And the thing was that if they suggested it and you really hated it, because they'd ask you when you brought it back, if you really hated it, they would refund it and let you get another movie, So but they introduced us to so many things we never would have discovered. And that's one of the things I miss about not having movie rental places anymore. Because you can go on the internet, but my God, sometimes it's the Wild West and everybody's just yelling about everything. And I just like to, talk to people and say, hey, what movies do you like? What have you seen that no one else has? And we might like it, we might not, but at least it opens us up to different things.
I have a suggestion, or you could go to a podcast or a video podcast or whatever and see what those people are saying. Just a suggestion. I wanted to ratchet back just a little bit. You mentioned movies that everybody hated, that someone, that's how I felt about The Counselor, which nobody likes. Nobody likes. And I just,
we got to get that review up eventually.
But it's,
was that the one with,
we went through this. You were on the podcast.
Wasn't that the scene? The one with
They're all having
directed by Ridley Scott.
Not Charlize Theron. What's her name?
Carmen Diaz.
Oh,
she has sex with
a
Lamborghini. That movie.
I hated that.
I hated that movie.
Yeah, I know everybody does, except me. So I understand. Like this one, I have no memory of this when it came out. Like I said, Coen Brother movies are hit and miss. This one never even crossed my mind.
We didn't know when it came out.
And it was. And remember, this was right after he did Shawshank Redemption. So he was on the heels of that movie.
That year too.
Yeah.
That was the big
year.
That kind of got lost in the shuffle.
Which one?
No, I was just saying 94 was a big year. It had Shawshank Redemption, Forrest Gump.
Big year, 94.
It had a lot of big blockbusters in it.
Yeah.
So
it's in the middle of all that. And, like I said, Coen Brothers movies are...
And we saw a lot of movies. We used to see a lot of movies. We always joke when we were dating, we went out to the movie all the time, And we had seen a lot of the blockbusters that year, but we didn't see. I don't even remember this being out.
It was at the Valley Center in Reisterstown.
Oh, was it?
That's where I saw it, I believe.
I can't believe it did very well in the box office.
Yeah,
because it's too niche. It's too And like Debbie was saying, it's 100%. The production value in this movie is insane.
Beautiful.
Mm-hmm. All the stuff down, and when they're inventing it, the stuff up at the clock gears, and all that stuff that happens up there.
Mm-hmm.
Even the table, the conference room table.
Oh yeah, the one.
Oh, gorgeous,
beautiful stuff. So, but again, without a good story, it's kind of hard to keep people. It's like Airplane was a great movie, right? But when they did it on TV, when they did that, the Police Squad, it didn't have the same impact because you couldn't, too many jokes, too many things were happening, and people couldn't get into it.
We like Police Squad.
Listen,
Police Squad is brilliant.
We have that on DVD too.
I have 2 laser discs, and I got both of those. I'm only saying, but that didn't last long because people just couldn't keep up with what's going on. And this is the same thing. I think if you're into the kind of movies that they're mimicking and they're paying an homage to, and Jennifer Jason Leigh was definitely doing an homage to
Rosalind Russell,
right? And the way John Mahoney's talking like the editor of the paper, and Bruce Campbell as the slick back reporter.
Have a breakfast,
right? I mean, and Buzz, the elevator guy, that he nailed that stuff. So I mean, but I just from a story point of view, it didn't go anywhere for me. It just kind of
pilot from the thing,
And that whole beautiful scene where that kid picks up the hula hoop the first time and he's spinning it on the sidewalk.
Actually, the first scene where the newspaper followed.
Yes.
That scene
was sticks on his leg.
Like that. And it was
what that reminded me of. I said to Brad, movie of that year,
Forrest Gump.
The Feather.
Yeah, with the
feather. And I thought, was that the in thing at the time? You know?
Well, that was smart because that whole with the newspaper thing established the magical realism of the piece.
Right.
Yeah.
The nature of it. So that was.
Yeah, that's a good point. You have to walk into this and just go for it. Just let it take you where.
You have to suspend your thoughts of reality.
Yeah.
I mean.
Yeah. I couldn't do it. And I like. There's certain movies that have that feel, and I go for it. But this one just didn't. I thought they were trying too hard. I think it was just too over the top for me. For all the.
You just have no taste.
That could be, and The counselor probably proved that. But doesn't mean I'm not going to watch it all the time.
Well, that's the thing, and it makes me wonder with the judgments that we make on movies. You know, it can depend on what, like I said before, when we saw it, the time in our lives when we saw it, what was going on in our lives when we saw it. You know, where we were brought up, how we were raised, what
of course. I mean, that's
if
everything.
we like
right.
all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And that's what I find interesting when we have these conversations, because we come at it from a different thing. And I don't mean this like, I don't care if you guys don't like it. Doesn't bother me if you don't like it. Honestly, if we all liked everything, it would be
a boring podcast.
It would be awful. You know?
Well, you mean it would be more boring?
We can say things like that. We're more than
less than 0 followers.
No one listens after 10 minutes anyway. It doesn't
Right,
matter.
we're done. Yeah, of course. I mean, does it sound like we don't respect anybody's opinion? I think we kind of respect everyone's opinion.
No, I think we do. Well, no.
Look,
Yeah,
I said I'm of two minds about this. Roger, you said about my movie, it sucked. So, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean?
That's an honest opinion.
It's not a nuanced critique.
No, but it's
your opinion of it sucks. She just said the movie sucks.
Right. Exactly.
I didn't.
You know, I'm so backward. He keeps trying to get me to come out of my shell and
Yeah.
you know, and it's just difficult for me.
I just look at a movie like this and I'm going, you know what? It's copying movies from the 30s. So why not watch the movies from the 30s that do this?
Wow. Oh, come on. Let's not get ridiculous.
There's so many great movies.
Come
It's
on.
funny to make fun because it's so.
It's an
That's the
homage.
thing. It's making fun of those.
Well, and it's interesting.
No, it's not making fun of them. I don't agree.
No,
with
it's
that.
it's paying tribute to them.
Yeah, I
no,
think
it's not
an
making
homage,
fun at all.
absolutely.
No, you're
I
right.
think it's kind of both. You know, I don't mean making fun of in a wrong way. Don't give me that stink face, Ralph.
No, my kid just said something. That had nothing to do with you.
Sure. Yeah, I'm
Hey,
gonna
I don't
my
understand what you
kid.
mean making fun
What
of.
I mean is set it up so that things are so over the top. Okay, they're so over the top. Jennifer Jason Leigh, and they've all got that voice, and then the editor comes in and he's like that. And actually, J.K. Simmons played a similar kind of editor in one of the Spider-Man movies.
Yeah.
So I think it
Directed by Sam Raimi.
and it also shows, at least for me, the absurdity of some of that stuff because it's hilarious. You know, I'm not talking in a pejorative sense. I'm not saying they're making fun of like the bully on the playground. What I'm saying is maybe I should say it as
They're
funny of that.
fondly remembering it. They're not. I never would consider that, and I don't think you're saying they were making fun of it to be nasty. You were just saying they're paying tribute
They're
to it.
having fun.
Right.
Well, look at her
Right.
name. It's Amy Archer. It's sort of like a Army Archer.
Nice alliteration.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's definitely, and I wish I had done my research because I kept track of every movie I saw and I had at least a star rating for them. I wish I had kept it. I'm curious to see what I felt about it. I probably gave it 3 to 3.5 stars when I first saw it.
Out of what? 5 or 10?
Out of 4.
Oh, out of 4. Wow.
Out of
The
10.
over the top. The fact that it's so over the top right away puts you in the mindset you're not supposed to take this seriously. In my head, it's meant to be kind of a mocking or making kind of playing fun with with the old movies.
Well, I bringing
I
a Princess Bride is a perfect example of magical, right?
Mhm.
But that was based in a story that took you from beginning to end, right?
Right.
This one, again, back to style over substance. Yes, great style, but it just didn't quite break through with the story. It just was thin. There was no story there, right? Your relationship with with Jennifer Jason Leigh and Tim Robbins was hardly there. Suddenly, they're in love at the end, but she's slapping him, and he's dating Gaga, whatever her name is. Zaza in the middle of this. It's like
though,
they were
because
just
if you
throwing
watch,
everything around.
here's the thing: if you've seen it a bazillion times, like we have, you see throughout the movie how there are times where he's saying stuff and she's going after him at first, and then she writes an article about him.
Right. She falls in love with him in
and
scenes.
you can see her feeling bad about it. You know what I mean? So it's, I don't know. I kind of disagree with that, but I but it's not a big love story, and it's not The Princess Bride, and it's not meant to be The Princess Bride.
I was just suggesting a movie that has sort of fanciful scenes and it's well, produced or production value. Magical. What was the line you used?
Most magical realism, but you know the thing that's most magical about this film and the most unbelievable is that Anna Nicole Smith was in a Coen Brothers film.
Yeah. It was surprising to see her, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. Weird.
Yeah.
Good, too.
Weird.
She was really good.
Yeah. Well, she had 2 scenes, right?
Yeah, but they were
She
brilliant.
was good. She had like 5 lines. The only reason she was good is because she had big boobs and they showed them.
Okay. I got a couple of,
I was listening to the line reading.
Plot questions, okay? I know why Buzz hits him. Buzz hits him at that, with Zaza because he fired him. There was a Swedish guy. Who was the guy that punched him?
Sidney told him that
he stole
the idea.
Right. Okay.
For the whole
why did the Swedish guy punch him in the Christmas party?
Because he lost so much money on the stock.
Oh, he was one of the stockholders.
Because he said something in Swedish that had to have been dirty or something.
His wife screamed.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Did we all watch the same freaking movie?
We did, but again, I might have just, rubbing my eyes at that point. I don't know.
He was not awkward at that point.
So he said something nasty in Swedish, maybe.
He didn't think he was saying something nasty, but the woman screamed as soon as he said it?
Now, was his character actually an imbecile, or was he actually smart?
He was naive. He was not an imbecile. He was naive.
I would agree.
He was from Muncie, Indiana.
Right.
Go
Eagles.
I like when that. Now that I thought was funny when he's singing the Muncie fight song and she's trying to go along with him.
Right.
Yeah, Muncie. Yeah, I thought that was funny.
and she's trying to follow him.
That when you're from the same small town and you go to the big city, there's a lot of stuff.
Yeah, but she didn't come from that town.
But she told him.
But she was
she lied. She lied. She lied to get in.
I go there every year. Every year? Well, if I like it this year, I will.
You're a Muncie.
That was funny.
It's funny. I never lived in L.A., but I hear from, Baltimoreans that go to L.A. Everyone from Baltimore and L.A. in the movie business hangs out together. So,
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Whether you liked each other or not, or in Baltimore, you hang out with them.
I can see that.
Close-knit group.
Well, the love story. He was in love with her because of that bond. That.
Then why did he go out with Zaza?
That was after she.
Well, he became rich and famous and a jerk.
Right.
He turned into a jerk.
Yeah,
That's when
he
they
turned into a jerk for
Don't
sure.
see her reaction to it. I mean, we don't until the end.
She had to fall in love with because she kind of betrayed him in the paper.
Right.
Right, but he didn't know that at
He didn't know
first.
that till later on.
No, but she knew it. She felt guilty, and there's nothing.
See, we're creating more story than they did.
It's me.
Oh my God, you're so cynical.
What did you say?
You're so cynical.
You're creating more story than they did.
Oh, well, see.
All right.
God.
Here we go. Anybody else have anything else you want to add before we rate this puppy?
I'm going to be thinking about this movie all week now.
You are not.
I just
I am
checked
too.
the IMDb because there was a character I thought was J.K. Simmons, but he is not in this movie.
No.
No, J.K. is not in the movie. I didn't think he
There
was.
was a character that was only in there briefly. I'm like, is that J.K. Simmons? But it
No,
wasn't.
it wasn't.
No, he wasn't.
Yeah, there were a lot of people walking in and out of this thing that could have been characters in a bunch of movies, I think. But
The fact that you got so many great character actors in small roles shows you how hot the Coen brothers were.
well, by that time, what did 94? So they had done. What was
So
that?
they use the same troupe of actors, right? Isn't that what they do? Even in small
Buscemi was in it,
Oh wait, yeah. So here's how bad the movie tanked. Okay, the estimated budget, $40 million.
Oh my God, look at the
Wow.
huge for them.
Opening weekend in the United States, it brought in 104,490.
That much?
The cumulative worldwide gross, 2,860,000.
Oh, this
Well,
was
that's
a
when they brought it to the drive-in.
bomb.
The
They had
entire
it playing in the
Yeah.
drive-in.
They didn't have to worry.
Yeah, it didn't even go out.
Yeah. No, that,
I tell you what, Barton Fink
No.
could
loss of about $37 million.
I still love this movie. I don't.
I'll tell you, I didn't see this in the movies. I would like to see it just for the visuals on the big screen.
Yeah.
I would like to see that. I don't know if
Yeah.
I'd stay awake through the whole thing, but I would like the visuals.
Well, you have a giant. You watch it on your giant
no,
screen.
this is only
94 inches.
100.
Oh, only 100 inches. Okay.
Is size really that important?
Yeah.
I hope not. I mean, for the screen.
Are we watching The Counselor again? Is that what we're talking about? So, was this before or after Barton Fink?
No.
This was their wait a minute. This was their next film after Barton Fink.
Okay.
This was after Barton Fink?
I'm going to confess I've never seen Barton Fink.
You got to see.
I did not
I didn't like Barton Fink.
I haven't seen it.
But then listen to the next three films. Fargo was the next one. Big Lebowski. Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?
Yeah.
And then they went into the bad period. I wouldn't say bad period, but it's like The Man Who Wasn't There,
Oh,
Intolerable Cruelty,
That's the one. I
The
was
Lady
talking
Killers.
Hmm.
Then No Country for Old Men was, in my opinion, their best film. So
about. Why is that their best?
Yeah, I know.
What is about that one?
hey, I think we should save that if we're
we'll
going to
save
do
that till I bring that one in.
Okay.
No, I can't watch.
Okay.
That was
I'm going to do a blog soon, my 5 favorite Coen Brothers films. I should just rank them all because they really didn't have that many films. But
I think in addition to critiquing a movie next week, I think we should each give our list for our top 5 favorite films.
Oh, wow.
I think we should do that.
Of all time?
You have to, if you had to. Or pick each category, horror, comedy. I think that would be interesting.
I'm
goes
actually
against
going
our
to talk
brand.
my top 100 films, but it's taking me so long.
Top 100?
Yeah,
We won't get past 8 minutes, my friend.
I can never pick that kind.
I couldn't even do 5, I don't think.
You couldn't do 5?
I mean, I just don't want. I don't like to do that. I don't know.
Oh,
I don't know.
because why? You're
Because it's too hard. It's difficult.
Would be next.
No, it'd be
No, the
Jaws,
Slapshot's not.
Jaws, The Counselor, Slapshot, Slapshot again.
Xanadu,
And Slapshot.
Slapshot.
Hey,
No,
Xanadu
now I
was
think-
a good soundtrack.
Yeah,
Now you guys are just
terrible
being
movie.
funny. Do it like a 1930s
Terrible
movie
movie.
then.
Do what like a 1930s?
My
movie?
list. Go ahead. 1930s movie. John, go. Scene. Oh, you're just not doing it for me.
I don't. What do you want me to? My favorite movie of all time. I'll tell you what it is, buddy. I'll tell you what my favorite movie
There you
is.
go.
Jaws is number 1. I got to tell you, I love Jaws. I love Jaws. What a great movie. I love it. It's about a fish in the water. I love it. Slapshot, great movie. Hockey, comedy, great. Buddy, I love it.
Boom.
Wait, you're gonna get close.
All right. Let's rate this puppy. Sean,
That was worth the whole. God.
Sean, what's your rating? Yippee-Ki-Yay or Yippee-Ki-Nay?
Well, I liked it better when it came out, but I still enjoyed it. It made me laugh, So I'm going to go Yippee-Ki-Yay. And I think my wife.
Yippee-Ki-Yay, yay, yay.
Wow. Boy, oh boy. We got too easy. John?
I have to use what Chris used that one time. Yippee-ki, meh.
That was me actually.
I did not like it, but I certainly didn't love it. So I'm right in the middle of it.
Right. Wojo and
How about you? Well, you know what?
I'm last. I'm running the show.
Yippee-Ki-Yay! Yippee-Ki-Yay!
Both Brad and you. Okay, I say Yippee-Ki-Nay.
Okay.
Now, not great, didn't hate. That's the only thing. I'm going to use that for a little bit.
Not great,
hate.
didn't hate.
But it's still, I wouldn't recommend this to say you got to see this movie as a Coen Brothers movie.
I would only recommend this to somebody who's into the Coen Brothers or something.
You gotta
you know.
really
We
be
are
into that.
very careful. After
Yeah.
the first fiasco with
Yeah,
our neighbors,
this is not one I'd recommend to
we are
everybody.
very careful about
I didn't know whether
Wasn't to
Debbie
remain
would
your
like
friend.
it.
to watch.
It would be tough to recommend because it's like you said at the beginning, you're either going to love this one or you're
Or
not
you're
going to
gonna
like it
hate
at all.
it.
I
Right.
said that when we were watching this. I said there's going to be
There's
people here
no
who
in
just can't
between.
stand it. Or
For the
Yeah.
part.
yeah.
I mean, I know, you guys said, well, it wasn't bad, it wasn't great, but usually if we've recommended this to people, they either like, this is the funniest thing, or like our neighbors, what is wrong with you?
Yeah.
Don't
Yeah,
you
I can
want
see
something
that. It's a
better,
tough
you
one.
know?
Because not everyone's going to get into the production value.
Right.
Not everyone's going
Yeah.
to get into the 30s vibe. And
Most people want a story.
right.
Right.
Yeah.
And
What's
you need a bit
wrong
of a
with
story.
that?
Yeah. All right. Well, that was a good one. Next week, we don't know what we're going
Wojo,
to do
good
next
job,
week. We'll
and I think
surprise.
you
Yep.
defended it well. I don't agree
did
with
defend it well.
You defended it well.
And that's the whole
Didn't
purpose.
expect you
Defend.
to.
Defend
Brad,
your choice.
we're like Ed McMahon, just agreeing with everything.
Hey, wait.
Yes.
Can we do something one more time? Do that again. Pull
So
that.
you've got more prepared stuff?
It's not prepared,
No,
really.
no, we're just gonna do this again because it makes me laugh.
Oh boy.
Who's the most liquid businessman on the street?
Hudsucker!
Well,
Say, but
why wouldn't you want to see this
fully
movie?
dressed.
I don't understand what's wrong with me.
Hudsucker!
Woo.
And the worst part is that we were doing this during the movie after we watched the movie the last couple of days. And then that's when I said, you have got to come on the podcast because this is just too funny. Because we have no life, and this is why, we get along so well.
It's you're quarantined. There's a lot of excuses we could
No,
make.
we'd be like this anyway.
Oh, we would do this no matter what.
Okay, well, there you go. That's how we end this one. Two crazy people in one of the corners. I don't know where you are on the screen, but there you go. Next week, we don't know what we'll do. Sean, you want to pick one for next week? Don't have to give us now. You want to do it, or you want?
Unless you got one now.
Yeah, I'll do one.
You're gonna leave us hanging. You're not going to tell us.
And the people at home are sitting on the edge of their seats.
No, that was 40 minutes ago. They're not on the seats anymore.
Will Michelle like it? Will Ralph hate it?
40
What'll
minutes.
John say?
Oh.
How will they pronounce their last name?
Right.
Tune in.
It'll be a nice surprise.
Well, I was thinking of something from the 70s. To go back.
Oh, thank
Oh,
goodness.
there's a shock.
Thank goodness. Which was the whole purpose of the podcast from the beginning.
Smokey and the
Very
Bandit
excited.
2.
Yes.
That's when it was multi-generational.
Smokey and the Bandit 2 Electric
Electric Boogaloo.
Boogaloo.
No, I could
With
not.
those, I didn't even know there were sequels to that movie.
If their millennials were here, if I was sure they would be here.
We can't. This funny thing about these millennials, can't guarantee anything.
Yeah.
I don't know
All
what the
right,
story
let's
is.
not
Yeah.
talk about it. You need to cut this off before now.
Plus, we should,
I
the
might
little
do
audience
that.
we should cut off by making fun of millennials. So I think that's a good call.
I said our millennials. I didn't say all millennials.
Millennials in general.
Actually, it's only one millennial. Al's not a millennial.
yes.
All right, don't forget, subscribe, hit the notification button. You got a recommendation, leave it in the comment section.
We don't know what the movie is, but next week Sean will bring a movie, and hopefully we'll see everybody. Okay?
Stay safe, everybody.
Hudsucker.
Stay safe. Yeah, there you go, Hudsucker.
See you later, buddy. See you later, buddy.
Wearing Hudsucker.
Buddy, we'll see you later, buddy.
See you later.